This is the Cafe Racer Podcast, episode 125 for February 19th, 2018. I'm Crash.
And I'm Daddy No Fun.
We are going without the music today. I was like, what do I say after the episode number? Oh, yeah, the date. That's what I usually say. Um, so, real quick up front, I'll front load all of those of you that subscribe on YouTube. We're going to tack an interview on to the end of the show. So, you'll have to go check that out on iTunes or the website to get the Jay LaRosa from Losa Engineering interview. And it's hat day on the show. You've got a nice hat, depending on who you look at it, who's looking at it. I've got a nice hat, depending on who's looking at it.
You meet the nicest people on a Honda.
Yeah, you've got a vintage Honda hat. I've got a purpose-built moto hat from our friend Tom over in Australia. Yeah, so
This is
today's
going
gonna
to
be
be a
kind of a
thing
short show.
now. I think Hat Day is going to be a thing.
Yeah, okay. I know I never wear hats. I mean, I say that I never wear hats outside of uniform. And like lately I've put on a couple hats and been like, that's not bad. It's okay. This one doesn't offend me. I put on a newsboy hat, the flat cap. I put on one of those one day and I was like, that doesn't look too terrible.
I've just recently learned that there are different kinds of hats because I come from the generation where everyone's baseball cap was the same.
Mhm.
So like your cap has got like the kind of like straight up high front, and this thing kind of like slopes.
Yeah, so yeah, this one's like reinforced. It's a snapback. I don't actually know what that means, but it's a kind of hat. Um, so it's kind of like a trucker hat where like the back is mesh and the front has got that
Well, the back of
reinforced
this is
piece.
mesh too. See, but
Yeah.
it's just and it says Honda right there.
Oh,
I should just
nice.
wear it backwards, even though
If
I
I
don't
turn
own a
mine
Honda.
around, it says nothing. Tom will have
Spelled
to get
out
on that.
Nothing or
Yeah, exactly.
okay.
So let's see what's been going on.
You're going bye bye for a while, aren't you?
I am. Yeah. I leave in like 2 or 3 days. Maybe 4 days. I don't know. So just a couple days. Um I'll be deployed for about 5 months. So it'll be you and Jess,
And
pretty much flying. So
Jess
flying.
and Jess and I and some special guests will
Yeah,
have.
well, definitely some special guests, and I may be able to jump in sometimes while deployed. It's going to kind of depend on scheduling and time zones and whatnot.
Do you have Wi-Fi on the ship?
We're going to be in port a lot, so the option of maybe being able to get off the ship and be on a show if
Mm-hmm.
we schedule it, or do something pre-recorded where I'm not having to be live.
So
That
we're
might
not
work.
going to not hear from you for 5 months. You will be. I know you and
Yeah,
I can make phone calls and have Skype recorded.
yeah,
So
totally. Like I'll
yeah,
be able to. I could place a phone call to you, or maybe if I figure out the number, you could call me on Skype, um, even while I'm on the ship. So, so yeah, I'll be around, just not as like I won't be riding any motorcycles, so I won't have any motorcycle related stories.
that's a drag. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way. There's not like we can't get like sneak on a bike and then you just can't like ride it around the ship.
Well, the ship has these little tricycles that I can't. I don't know what they're for. Um, but the other
What?
day,
What? Wait a second. There's tricycles on the ship and nobody knows what they're for. They're just like,
um, I know someone knows what they're for. I'm just not one of those people. Somebody said to me that they do a lot of like the Navy calls it a steel beach picnic, where like the ship just kind of like throws a little like mandatory fun event on the ship, and they play games that involve these tricycles.
mm-hmm.
But they're they're not exactly what you think of when you think of well,
You will have to be
imagine.
involved in these games and videotape this.
Yeah, imagine an adult-sized tricycle. That's what it is. The other day when we unloaded the ship, I was riding around in circles around everybody with it like up on two wheels. Like
They're like, that guy's got skills, man.
That guy's an
Oh
ass.
wait, that
He's
was the
not
video
doing
I
anything.
saw Jess riding around on the tricycle.
Yes. Yes.
Those things
There's a
are
video.
huge. They're not little. They're ginormous.
Yeah, they're like full size adult tricycles.
Yeah.
Um,
The one where I commented that she was 12 years old.
uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, um I posted something to Instagram, I think, on my personal one at Cafe Racer X if you guys want to see all of my weird shenanigans. But yeah, I was riding
Actually,
around one of those, trying as hard as I could to make a right turn with the left wheel in the air. It's hard. Like keeping the outside wheel up and still turning to the right, or
yeah,
it's hard.
like on a hack, right?
Yeah, well,
Like,
because on a sidecar, when you turn towards the sidecar,
mhm,
it lifts up. But
right.
imagine turning away from the sidecar and trying to keep the sidecar up in the air.
No, that'd be hard because
Yeah, it was tough.
there's
It
weight
was
there. It's a
fun.
counterweight. That's why new sidecar drivers have like a bag of sand in the car to
Yeah,
counterweight it. Yeah, I know my buddy when he first got his Ural, that's what he did, as he was so afraid of flying the car all the time.
yeah,
Personally, I think that would be the fun part about it. But
yeah. Me too.
Ma, look what I can do.
Right?
Famous last words for me.
Seriously. You might as well say "hold my beer" right before you do that too.
Hmm. Yeah, so really nothing's been going on other than
I've been
man,
super busy getting ready.
I know you have. We've been the amount of chatter that goes on lately on Slack is
Yeah,
just it's insane. Like I'll wake up and it'll say like 65 messages.
yeah. The other day they got my unread message count up to 100, and it was just in like while I was at work.
So I'm going to throw it out there for any listeners because I've got 2 trips planned coming up starting next weekend.
Yeah.
So one of them, I'm going with one of our listeners, Doug, and we're going to do the Trans Florida Rally, which doesn't require us to change genders. That's not what it's about.
Oh,
It's a rally. I knew you were thinking that, but
it's way
no,
less exciting now.
no, it's really boring. But it's actually a lot of fun. And if you're going to be or you live in like southern Georgia or central to North Florida, and you're not on ADV Rider, get on ADV Rider, and there's some regional forums in there, and you want to go to the one for the Florida forum, which is called Flatistan. And there's a section in there on the 2018 Trans Florida Rally, and this rally runs from the east coast of Florida to the west coast of Florida on day one, and then back to the east coast starting in St. Augustine. It's a really fun rally because they give you a roll chart right at the beginning, and you get points. And this is an AMA sanctioned rally, so it's really very well thought out and planned. The organizers do a great job. Friday night, we're camping on the west coast of Florida. There's a dinner. And then Sunday, we get a different roll chart for the way back. And they give prizes and things like that. And then I'm going to be staying in the area during the week. And then 2018 Daytona Bike Week starts the weekend of March 9th. And I will be camping on the infield at the racetrack. But Saturday, we've got a bunch of great rides planned. And one of our listeners, Jeds, is going to be meeting me there. And I think maybe Scott too as well. But we're planning on riding around the lake area where Ocala National Forest is. So if you're going to be in Daytona and you want to hang out with us, I'll post something on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook about where I'll be camping. But it'll be on the infield at Daytona International Speedway. It won't be hard to find me. I've got the 1290 KTM Super Adventure. If you want to ride with us on Saturday, we'd be more than happy to have more people ride with us. But it would be a all on road around the lake area of North Central Florida, nice and brisk. It'll be fun.
Awesome. I will be on a boat.
Heading into the Pacific, I take it, right?
Yeah, we're going. I can talk about where we're going. We're going to all over the South, like Southeast Asia area for this event. It's sort of this like multinational disaster preparedness exercise called Pacific Partnership.
Hmm.
Um, and we're going to um, like Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, probably a few I'm not thinking of. And
A
then,
lot of bucket list places for me for riding motorcycles.
yeah, some really beautiful places that it would be amazing if I were able to go ride a motorcycle in them. But,
Do you think
um,
that you'd have like even a day's leave where you could go rent a bike like in port in Vietnam? And
well, we have to use like the whole buddy system thing. So I'd have to have someone else that was going to do it too.
Mhm.
And they're really strict about like renting vehicles and stuff. Uh, because sailors tend to do really dumb shit.
So you're going to
So,
be crash no fun for 5 months.
oh yeah, I mean, so this ship, because it's a hospital ship, and our mission is so like high visibility and like it's a goodwill mission kind of deal. It's really political, and the liberty policy on the ship is really strict. Um, we're under like somewhat lockdown. We're not allowed to spend the night off the ship, which like a normal ship, if they pull in for 4 or 5 days, you can take 2 nights or 2 or 3 nights and spend the night off the ship and get a hotel room or whatever. Um, we're not allowed to do that at any point. And when we get on the ship, they're like breathalyzing almost everybody.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because they really, really do not want us to be typical drunken sailors uh, while we're there
So you're
doing
not,
like disaster relief stuff.
and you're not the entire ship are not Navy personnel, right?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of civilians. So like it's like normally it's like a mostly civilian ship. So
Hmm.
the people that do all of the work to actually make the ship do ship things are all civilians.
Hmm.
And then the people that work in the hospital and some of the other departments are Navy. And when we go on our deployment, there's going to be a lot of civilian, like non-governmental organizations, and a lot of Navy officer, like nurses and doctors and stuff that are going on board with us. So it's
Yeah.
going to be different, a very different deployment, that's for sure.
Well, how about I try to ride as much as I can in those five
Yeah,
months to make up for you?
Jess is going to try to ride as well. She's pretty much set on taking over the Bonneville and not giving it back to me when I come home.
Wow. So that
Yeah,
means you're going to have to take one of those adult tricycles and bring that home.
put a little motor on it and ride it around.
You're going to be in the market for a new bike.
Yep. Yep,
Yeah.
that's kind of the plan.
Yeah.
Um, we're gonna be in the market for a new place to live, and once we figure that out, then we'll figure out the motorcycle situation. Uh, it's gonna be when I get back, it's gonna be a lot of changes.
Yeah. Well, kind of in the same boat as far as trying to find a place to live, but I keep looking for places with a garage. So
Yeah,
yeah.
we've just kind we I can't say that we outgrew this place. We were always kind of cramped here, um, and it's just we both like Jess is really excited about continuing in motorcycling and only having a one car garage where we cram two motorcycles and a car is making it makes that difficult. Plus, we would really like to get the kids into riding, and they both are like, I mean, all four of them really, but like the two that live with us all the time, have expressed interest in riding, and so we're thinking about getting like a little 50cc dirt bike, um, and that just doesn't that just doesn't work here. There's nowhere to put it.
Yeah. I mean, what's your options as far as land is concerned?
You mean like as far as land to ride on?
Yeah, like is it I know you are in San Diego, how affordable is it to find someplace that has like I had in Jupiter, like an acre and a half or something like that, or is that kind of unheard of?
That's unless I go way farther away from work than I'm comfortable with, it's pretty much out of the question. But there's a lot of off-road vehicle area and stuff like that, like that you can ride. So, we wouldn't be able to ride on the property, like, with the exception of just like in the backyard if there was a backyard.
Right.
Um, but getting out to like some like within like 30 minutes there are off-road trails that are like Jeep and motorcycle trails that we could, as a family go ride on.
I may be out there in May. There's a really good possibility. So, um, you won't be back by then, though, will you?
I will not. I will be back
Oh,
in July-ish.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to
But Jess
plan
will still be
something
here, so
with Spencer. So,
awesome.
all right. Another thing I was going to tell you is I got my package in the mail from BDR with the Mid Atlantic BDR video, the
Oh,
documentary in it.
cool.
Yeah, it was really neat. And what I've learned from watching that documentary is that for somebody who's never done a BDR, the Mid Atlantic one's going to be the one to do because it's rated from like easy to intermediate,
Yeah.
and a lot of it's paved road.
Did
So
you like the video?
the video was phenomenal. It was great.
We might have to talk after this.
Why you want me to send it to you?
Yeah, I'd love to see it. And like obviously there's not enough time for you to mail it to me, but you may be able to like rip it and then like upload it
Yeah, I think I'll be able to get it to you on a somehow or another.
in a
So,
completely legal manner. Yeah.
well, I actually think I have for paying. I think I have the streaming rights for
Oh,
you as well. But for me, anyway, you know what? I'm gonna take all that back right now.
yeah. Well,
I'm not.
we'll
You're
figure
not
it
going to
out.
be able to see it. Sorry.
That's okay. We'll
But we
find a
are
way.
having I'll throw out here a little announcement. We're doing the Cafe Racer podcast, and WMR Competition Performance is co-hosting a screening of the Mid Atlantic BDR on March 29th at WMR Competition Performance in Stuart, Florida. I will put a link on our webpage. It's been out on our Instagram. I'll put another one out on our Instagram for it. But if you go to ridebdr.com, that's RIDEBDR.com, and look for the screening dates, it shows up on the screening dates on March 29th. So if you're in the South Florida area, the Central Florida area, and you want to see the movie for free, they're not charging anything at the dealership. And March 29th on a Thursday night.
That sounds
Plus,
awesome.
if you're in other parts of the country, you can look on Ride BDR's website and they'll give you other screening dates for other parts of the country. But officially, the Mid Atlantic BDR opened up on February 1st. So you can go to the website, download the GPX files for it. You can look at the interactive map. Butler Map has a map for it. And if you sponsor, BDR is a nonprofit organization. So if you sponsor at the bronze level, you'll get a big, thick envelope full of discounts from many of the different companies that work with them. You'll get the DVD and you'll get a map and a bunch of other cool stuff too.
That's
So,
cool. I
yeah.
I got to go to one of the BDR video screenings in Seattle, and it was definitely worth going to. So if you guys are like kind of thinking about whether or not you want to try to find a screening of the video, um, it was a lot of fun. Like it was a cool video, surrounded by a bunch of other people that are into the same kind of thing with motorcycles. It was definitely worth it.
You could actually do this on the Bonneville.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what it the majority of the road was easy for you to do. You could definitely do it on the Bonneville. And I think they're planning on, from what they said in the video, they're planning on kind of like moving up the East Coast. So like something
Hmm.
from Maine and then down the East Coast all the way into Georgia and North Florida.
Cool.
So the goal would be to have like maybe 4 BDRs here on the East Coast, which would make me really happy because I got to do part of the New Mexico BDR and part of the Colorado BDR when I was on the Continental Divide trip. And those roads are certainly more challenging than what the Mid Atlantic one is showing in the movie.
Right.
So I'm excited about it. I'm hoping to plan to do that. I keep looking at the map and trying to figure out how long it'll take me, but I'm thinking maybe next year sometime, maybe
Nice.
the beginning of September, and then maybe I could also come out and we could do the Southern California one when they release it as well.
That'd be awesome. I would
Yeah,
I would love to
that
do
may be
that.
later this year.
Yeah, the plan. So one of the sort of plans when I get home from my deployment is to get a dirt bike. I don't know what exactly. I'll figure that out when I get to that point. But yeah, I want to get a dual sport or dirt bike, um, and you know, something small that I can like really get more comfortable in the dirt on.
You know, I remember the first time I rode a DRZ 400, I kinda trashed it, saying I
Hmm.
didn't like it. The more I've seen them built up, though, the more I think that would be a bike I would consider, especially because of the cost secondhand.
Yeah,
By the way, Alex Marsh just posted on our, YouTube page that they posted on Instagram that the North and South Atlantic routes will join the Mid Atlantic to make one long BDR,
cool.
which would be very cool.
Super BDR.
Yeah. But getting back, like I saw some pictures. I think the owner of Wolfman Luggage posted some pictures of a DRZ 400 project bike that they did, which I was like, man, I think that might be the right bike for me for a dual sport because it's not the kind of money that I would be looking at if I were to buy like any of the KTM bikes. They're just $10,000, $11,000 for a new one. On the secondhand market, I think I can get a DRZ pretty cheap and then just build it the way I want to build it. I'm pretty sure the problem with the one that I test rode was it was the supermoto version of it. The suspension was completely at the lightest settings, so it was uncomfortable to ride, and it just
Hmm.
felt small. I think it would be different if it had more suspension travel, different wheels on it, set up for the dirt.
Yeah. Um,
What are you going to look at, like a 250 or something?
yeah, so I think I can register like like a off-road bike and get a plate if I register it in Washington. And then I'd have a legal license plate. And so I'd be able to get like a 250 off-road bike that's geared for off-road and not geared to go on the highway,
Mhm.
so that I could, you know, ride it because I've got off-road trails within like I said, like 30 minutes of me. So I could ride, over there or take it over on a trailer or whatever. Um, and still have a plate if I needed to go on road briefly, but have like a more specifically off-road focused bike. It's kind of the goal anyway.
The only thing that's really kept me from doing this for the longest time is there are no trails here in South Florida.
Right.
You have to drive to the West Coast to some park, or you got to go to Ocala. So it's not convenient to own without having it plated. Even then, I wouldn't take a plated 400, 5 hours up the coast to go to Ocala. I would trailer it for
Yeah,
sure.
that'd be tough.
Yeah. Well, I know guys that do it, but I think they're first of all, they're a lot smaller than I am and a lot tougher than I am too. I want some comfort. That's why I like that big giant sergeant seat on the KTM for my big butt.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Mhm.
Um,
So I was
so
gonna
why don't
say
we?
we're gonna
Yeah,
have some guest hosts while you're gone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody you want to tease? I mean, you can take that however you want to take it. Anybody's guest hosting that you want to like tease to the audience?
No, because I haven't finalized things with him yet. There's a couple
Fair enough.
big names that I've been talking to, but we haven't finalized anything. So when we finalize it and we have dates set, then I will.
Great. Sounds fine
Yeah.
with me.
I mean, there's
Um,
a couple builders that
mhm.
we've talked to in the past, and I just have to get the times right with them because they're not in the US.
Right. Like I know Tom from Purpose Built is pretty much down to be on the show anytime.
Right.
So, and then
And there's a
there's
guy
a
in
bunch of
South
other people.
Africa, and there's, some people in the UK. It's just getting it squared away. But we have some friends of ours, here in the United States that I want to bring on as well.
Yeah, totally. Um, so let's announce. So we had a giveaway that we did. We had a couple giveaways. We gave away a Schuberth M1 helmet that went to Jay. He now the happy owner of a Schuberth M1 with SRC Bluetooth thingy. Um,
Really nice
and
helmet.
yeah, he loves it. Like he messaged me and was like super super stoked because he said he only ever rides in like crappy like low end, like super cheap helmets, and so this is like his first high quality helmet, and he's like just blown away.
Mhm.
Um, and
He gave
then
away
we
a really
also,
nice climb jacket too.
oh yeah,
That guy's name was it Steve? I can't remember.
I don't remember either.
Yeah,
But
sorry, man.
we just finished a contest for the Patreon supporters only, and it was for the Cardo PackTalk Duo, the Scalar Rider PackTalk Duo pack. So many words. Which is a dual pack of mesh network connected, super high, newest technology Bluetooth systems for your helmet. And I guess
Who's
we
the
should
winner?
introduce. I'll click our little random boop 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 boop. Obviously, we
Does it
figured out who
actually
the
make
winner
that
was
noise?
before this. But anyway, we'd like to congratulate Tyler Aarons for winning on our Patreon members giveaway. If you guys would like to have extra chances to win or also extra contests to win, you can go to patreon.com/Cafe Racer Podcast and find us there. I, this is the first time I've really been able to watch the YouTube chat. I've never clicked into it, and it's really funny to watch people talk while we record.
You mean talk shit about us?
Yeah, like Chris Shockley was like, drum roll, fingers crossed, and when I announced the name, he's like, damn it. I mean, congrats.
Right.
So yeah. This is why I asked for how to pronounce his name in Slack. Because I'm like, how do I say your name? Um so yeah, congratulations. Steve will get your address, or I'll email you his address or
I
whatever.
got it covered for him.
So
I'll
yeah.
send an email right now.
Cool.
Um, Congratulations, Tyler, and again, thank all you guys that are members of Patreon and that contribute to Slack. We're going to do more of these as we get
Yeah.
more demo gear to try out, and there's also some things we're just going to be outright giving away
Yeah.
In the Patreon as well. So
Fun fact so to give you an idea of how small the community I work in the Navy is, Tyler and I, he's former Navy. We know some of the same people. Like, we've worked with some of the same people. Because he was in the same community as me. Like, there's probably, like, we haven't figured out. There's probably like 25 or 30 people that we both we're friends with.
you're not saying
It's
it's
like,
not the Navy that's small; it's the community that you guys work in, though, right?
oh yeah, I mean, there's 325,000 people in the Navy roughly.
Right.
And yeah, I've only ever worked on the same type of helicopter, so
Hmm.
it's a pretty close knit community that everybody knows everybody. I mean, the guy, this I work. There's two guys that are like sort of in the upper management level at my command that are
Hmm.
brothers-in-law, because they're like, one's married to the other one's sister or something. Like, it is a very small community.
A lot of incest going on, huh? A lot of
Yes,
inbreeding
it
in
is a
that
very
radio.
incestuous community. I mean, like,
A lot of banjo playing and
yeah,
okay.
yeah, a lot of
That
special
explains a
people.
lot, Crash. Now I understand. I get the full picture. Okay.
Yep.
So one of our Slack members is talking about too that they did a big Harley ride the other day, a demo ride.
Oh yeah.
The more as much as we make fun of the whole cruiser crowd and Harley, I still want to go ride some of those bikes. Um, just to kind of get an idea of what I'm missing out on.
Yeah, I ride them when it when time permits. Like, if I go to an event and there's a Harley demo truck there or whatever, and I've got time, I'll take a ride on one,
I,
because every now and then, I might get surprised and find that they made something I really like.
right, and I told you how much I've been liking the new 2018 Goldwing, right?
Yeah.
So I went and looked at there's not any 18s yet in the showroom, but I went and I sat on another 17 again just to kind of sit on it. But I did look at like a K1600 and sit on
Hmm.
that, kind of get a feel for it. And I think I would be doing myself a disservice if I test rode both of those bikes, if I didn't also ride one of the ultra classics or
Yeah.
road glides or wide glides or something like that. So I think that's going to be in the future here, and I'll do a whole test report on it.
Yeah, I was completely blown away with how much I liked the K1600 GT that I rode. It was or the K1600B, yeah.
Right. That was the bagger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Um
Right
so yeah.
now, that's all I got. We can roll into the interview if you want.
Yeah, so stay tuned those of you that are not uh those of you that are listening on YouTube. Head on over to caferacerpodcast.com if you want to catch the interview with Jay LaRosa that we're going to tack on to the end of this. A few, I guess it was almost 2 months ago. It was in December. I had the opportunity to go visit Jay up at his shop, and we had a conversation. It was super fun. I really felt at home in his shop. Like there was something about his just like laid back vibe, plus the like you know 80 bikes just all crammed in there, like waiting for work. That just felt like really nice. So it was a really good interview. It was fun to hang out with Jay.
Hmm.
Um, Coming up here, I think next month is the OG Motorcycle Show. Um, and Jess is going up to that with the guys from Cerberus. It's a show put on by Jay and some other people. So stay tuned for more from that. Um, Again, thanks to everybody that supports us on Patreon, patreon.com/Cafe Racer Podcast. And we're on social media. Just look for Cafe Racer Podcast. So without
All right,
further
man.
ado, get out and ride.
See ya.